Hey Fuji fan, hold on to your hat because the Fujifilm X-T5 has arrived. It gives you all of what you love in the XT system in a surprisingly small package. I'm David Schloss, this is Dave Tries This, and this is a first look at the Fujifilm X-T5 based on several hours with a media sample unit at a media event in New York City. You'll be happy to hear that the X-T5 is a full-featured XT camera with improvements in multiple areas and a body that's just ever so slightly bigger than the original X-T1. You like the Fuji X-T1 because of its compact size, excellent image quality, and retro features with those cool dials on the top, right? You even like the X-T2 more because of the 4K video, higher resolution features carried over from the X Pro 2. Then when the X-T3 came out, you thought, oh, a new 26 megapixel sensor, faster processor, 422 recording, and 11 frames per second shooting. That's great. Then the X-T4 came along and you're like, this is getting really kind of big. I like the IBIS, the 4K 60, I like the USB-C port and the touchscreen, but isn't this a little bit large? I mean, at this point I could just shoot a full-frame camera instead, right? Fuji somehow managed to shoehorn a lot of technology into this tiny package, and that helps the X-T5 feel a lot more like the original idea behind the XT series, and a lot less like a slightly smaller X Pro. Fujifilm says the X-T5 is a return to its roots, and that's clear from playing with the camera. In the 2 years since the X-T4 came out, Fujifilm seems to have looked for ways to make their XT series look a lot more like a traditional film camera and to get away from competing in size with full-frame cameras. The 40 megapixel X-T5 uses the 5th generation X-Trans CMOS 5 HR sensor and the X-Processor 5, which gives it the ability to capture these 40 megapixel images at up to 15 frames a second. The viewfinder is 3.6 million dots, by far not the best in the industry, but it does refresh at 100 frames per second and is okay looking in practice. It can capture 6.2K 30p and 4K 60 with about 13 stops of dynamic range using F-Log2. It can also write external ProRes RAW and Blackmagic RAW files, which is pretty neat. That means that on paper, the X-T5 sort of competes with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K, at least in terms of the sensor resolution. The X-T5 will cost $1,700 for the body alone. A kit with the XF16-55 is $2,100, and the XF16-80 kit is $2,200. The specs on the X-T5 almost don't matter, right? People like you shooting on the Fuji system are shooting them because you love them. Fuji does what no one else does. They make a camera that takes design cues from an era where the photographer was responsible for their settings and for the operation of the camera. Of course, the X-T5 can shoot in fully automatic settings, but it's refreshing to have a camera that puts all of the photographic controls right on the top of the camera, where they were really meant to be. But all it really needs to do is take pretty pictures and videos consistently, and it'll be a hit with Fuji fans. And guess what? It does. For me, this is why increasing the size of the XT line was a bit surprising. As Fuji filled out the rest of its lineup, the XT series seemed to sort of bloat a bit, at least compared to its original mission. An aps-c camera should be small. That is the entire advantage of using that sensor. aps-c doesn't have better image quality than full frame, it doesn't have more dynamic range than full frame, it's just smaller. That smaller size means smaller bodies and smaller lenses. It's a nice compact package, right? I really prefer the idea of a modest upgrade in a smaller body than a massive upgrade in a bigger body, something the size of the X-T4, but here it feels like we got both things. The X-T5 feels really great to hold. I walked around New York City with it, taking pictures for a few hours, and it really feels great. The body is being back to small enough that it feels like it's almost not in your hands. I didn't have a camera strap, so I just held the camera in my palm, and it was comfortable to walk around that way, just bringing it up to my eye whenever I wanted to take a shot. I spend most of my time in New York City shooting with the new 30mm macro, and I absolutely love it. It's so small and so incredibly sharp. The minimum focusing distance is so tight that you can get incredibly close to subjects. I found myself lighting little scenes with my iPhone light because the lens would cast the shadow on the subject, but then the details would be incredible. Now, if you love the XT series, which I think you probably do since you're watching this, you're going to love the X-T5. It's back around the size where the X-T1 was. It's picked up that sort of joy and love of photography again. It comes in the same two colors with the silver and the black. I like the silver one. Most people seem to like the black one. Which do you like better? Let me know in the comments below. Silver. Silver is the way to go. For now, as I expected, the X-T5 is a fun little camera to play with. Are there any alternatives? Kind of yes and kind of no. Right now you could get a Sony a7C for around the same price as you could get this camera. It's about the same size as that camera. There you'd have a full frame sensor, but the a7C has an older focusing system in it than the focusing system in the X-T5. The a7C has an older focusing system so the autofocus may not be on par with you, and the video features definitely aren't as good. If you want Pro RAW and Blackmagic RAW from a camera, this is really a great camera at a great price. If you have any of the first XT cameras, the 1 through the 4, and you really love them, there's no one thing on this camera to get super excited about. If you don't have any of those cameras, or even the XT1 or 2, and you really feel like you want a more modern camera with more modern features, the X-T5 is definitely a great camera. But I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. I'll have full recommendations for purchasing after I've gotten to play with the camera for a while. For now, if you like the XT system, you're going to love the X-T5. It's got more of what the system had to offer, and less at the same time. Let me know in the comments below if you're planning to buy this camera, or if you're sticking to the X-T4, or maybe sticking to a different brand. For Dave Tries This, I'm David Schloss. Thanks so much for giving this a try.